Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome back to Extra Innings. I am your host, William Suttle, and I'm here with Tyler Wehrle. He plays for the Carolina Mudcats, single-A affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. He is from Findlay, Ohio, and attended Tiffin. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Bright and early morning, trying to get it in.
Yep.
Here with a good guy, trying to have a little fun here.
Get to know you a little bit more. This is your first time on the podcast, and so far you've been in the minor leagues for 1 year. But kind of backtracking to your early career, if you look at Baseball Reference, you spent 3 summers with 3 different summer leagues. Can you kind of attest to, how that helped your career? Because, with an organization like the Ohio Bison, we get kids coming through all the time playing summer ball. And can you kind of expand on your experience with summer ball?
So I can start from the beginning. I went to Tiffin. I knew the coach really well. He played with my dad, and I'm very blessed to go where I did and have the friends I had and the coaches I had. They got me through a long way. And I owe a lot of my pitching achievements towards Joe Wilkins, our head coach at Tiffin, Drew Patton, predominantly our pitching coach, and Brady Ward. He is now the head coach at Morehead State. But my freshman year, he was at Tiffin. And he kind of took me under his wing, showed me the ropes. And, there was a really good pitcher ahead of me, but he ended up being hurt, sadly. But he was still very dominant in Tiffin. He still holds records in Tiffin. But I was very fortunate to come in and be able to start right away as a freshman. And Brady Ward kind of taught me, and Drew Patton along kind of showed me how to be, not just go out there and throw. They taught me how to pitch.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
big difference between just going out there and throwing and pitching. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. Young kids, I think they just go out there and just, oh, I'm here, let's just go throw. No, you got to learn to pitch. Like, you can't just throw everything down the middle. You have to learn to hit spots. You have to learn to throw other pitches. And they really honed in on that. And, me and Cody Orr kind of took over, and we broke the record for most innings thrown in Tiffin history for freshman year. And I was very blessed by that. And then they didn't want me to play summer ball then. They told me, all you want to do is get bigger. So I was like, I can do that. I came in like 6'2", maybe 6'3", and I was 180 pounds. So I was like nothing.
And you really need to bulk up.
They were like, I topped out at 91 my freshman year, which I was happy about. But they're like, look, if you put on weight, you get stronger in the weight room, hit the weight room hard this summer, you'll come back throwing even harder. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. So they shut me down all summer. They were like, don't pick up a baseball at all until you get back to Tiffin. I came back 205, and I was pretty big. I felt pretty good about myself. And sophomore year came along, and we had a guy named Benji Groen, and he was a strength conditioning coach. Blessed to have him. We ran so much. We lifted all the time. I got up to 215 by my sophomore year. And, of course, that's when COVID hit. And
you're like, dang, I did all this work for nothing.
Literally, I was so upset because we were so good. We were 9-2, and we were tearing every team apart. On paper, that was the best team we ever had, and we were just destroying teams. And next thing you know, sophomore year hit, and everything got canceled. We were like, no way this is going on. Like, it just heartbreaker to have such a good team and have all that talent and nothing to come out of it. You're like, are you serious right now? And coming off a GMAC win, us getting a ring, going to playoffs, like, having a chance to have that run, and then we were like, oh, we're at it next year. Like, sophomore year, like that next year, we were ready. We were like, bring that on. We want that. Got shut down, and we were like, what do we do now? A lot of those guys were just sitting around. We were hopeless. Like, that was our whole year.
Everybody else really got their season, and then there's spring sports, and they're like, not happening.
No, just baseball, smell ya, just you're done. And we were like, we were about to get ready. We just got back from Florida, and we're like, we're done. Like, we're really done. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
And we were all sitting in the room when we got the call because all of us players were sitting up top in Tiffin's little community center watching TV, just trying to make sure everything's good. And next thing you know, Wilkins got the call, and he's like, season's done, boys. And we all you could just tell the whole demeanor in the room just went down. We were all upset. But you know what? There comes some good things from that. I ended up going out and playing in the Northwoods League. And I don't know if you know, they have the pods out there. So they would put different teams together, and you just play those certain teams.
Oh, all right. That makes sense.
And a lot of
you're able to play in that scenario.
And a lot of guys did that, and we were very fortunate for that. And we played like 50, 60 games. And we were like, it didn't feel like COVID was existent out there in North Dakota because it hasn't hit out there. I didn't have to wear a mask. Like, we got checked when we walked in. Like, you really didn't have to wear a mask. Didn't have to do anything. It was like free range. And we were like, wow, this is awesome. And me and 4 of my other close friends went out there and played baseball out there. And that was a huge learning curve because you have guys that are seniors, like guys getting picked up. And I was so young and I haven't experienced that real, like I got college feel, but coming from other colleges, like big name guys, all this going against, like we played some tough competition. And going in that, it was a huge learning curve. I was like, wow, like I kind of got shelled a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, my sophomore year out there, I kind of got rocked. I was like, I need to learn to throw more. I need to be a little bit better of a pitcher. So then I was like, I need to start throwing harder. Like I need to start honing in on this if I want to make it to where I want to be. And I told Wilkins and Patton, like when I came in, all I want to do is go to play pro baseball. That was my only dream. Ever since I was young, I've only wanted to play professional baseball my whole life. Why have a plan B when you folks are on plan A?
Yeah.
And so I went out there and I learned how to pitch, kind of. Like I had great coaches out there, young coaches, but I mean, you just kind of learn from everybody, you know, pick a little bit different stuff. And then junior year came along and I came back and I really told my coaches, like, look, I kind of got shelled out there a little bit. Like I need to learn how to throw a little better. So I tried doing a velo program, gained some velo my junior year, was like 90, 92. Sometimes I'd be in the high 80s, you know, you have those, but I started to learn how to get my velo. And I was really focused on better mechanics. And as I came in, like through my freshman and sophomore year, I started learning that. But really after that year, I was like, I really need to focus on mechanics because mechanics goes a long way. You can't just do it all strength. If you're not flexible and don't have mechanics, you're not going to throw hard.
Yeah.
So between my coaches, they really sat me down, like helped me out. Like every day it was a process. I remember doing a drill where my coach took a rake, put it up against a fence, and I used to have to do drills sitting down against a rake just to learn to use your legs to get down because I was such an upper body dominant pitcher.
Yeah.
I had to ride the rake all the way down, and I have to do that every day. Patton made me do that every day, man.
Like it's like in like Karate Kid, you know, wax on, wax off. You're trying to say like, what is this doing? Like,
and I didn't realize what it was doing until I got on the mountain. I'm like, whoa, I can actually feel myself using the legs, going from the velocity belt, doing that. Then making me just sit into my leg, just not even throwing a ball, just going down or just doing simple drills. Next thing you know, my junior year, I started throwing harder, and I'm like, whoa, like I can actually feel my mechanics like really working, getting into my my load, getting into my back hip and throwing. Next thing you know, I was like, whoa, this feels nice. Then I went and played for, like, then I started pitching, you know, getting a feel for good pitches, like working on other things, and went to Chillicothe Paints. Had a great year. Chillicothe Paints were absolutely phenomenal.
The VA is a really nice facility to play at.
Oh my gosh, yes. Having that many fans there, that was the Thursday night starter. Man, the beer batters would come up and you'd strike them out. The whole crowd would go crazy.
I mean, it's a beer batter. What do you mean? Like, what do you expect?
Yeah, it was a very good blessing to play there. And traveling all the time doing that and learning to play with other guys, it kind of gets you to mature more. And you understand the game a little bit more. And it makes you realize, like, wow, do I want to play baseball for the rest of my life? Because, like, I see how much we play now. And throwing 120 innings, you're like, it kind of wears you down. You're like, wow, this is tiring. Long season.
That's why you take care of yourself and you learn the correct mechanics. And, you know, I always kind of go back to, if you go to a baseball game and you watch pitchers warm up, you know, sometimes they use the towel and all the bands and stuff. And, you know, some people could look at that and be like, why aren't you just throwing a baseball? You know, it's much, much more than throwing a baseball. It's using a rake, stretching, and just doing that motion. There's just so much more that people don't understand what goes into being a professional pitcher.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you really want to be at it, you have to perfect your craft. And granted, I'm nowhere near perfect. There's always room for improvement. But everybody has their own thing that works for them, and that's why some people take an hour and a half before they do it. Some people lift before they throw, so just to get your body right. Like, I'm trying to learn still kind of what I want to do in pro baseball, just because there's such a big gap between your practice time and your start time, and then when you're going into the game. And learning different roles in pro baseball, I learned how to get my body ready, what I had to do to stay ready, like quick movements to get myself ready in a short period of time, like maybe some plyos real quick. But everyone, like I said, everyone has their own thing. And like summer baseball really teaches you that, because you're playing with so many different guys that you kind of pick their brain and you kind of pick the coach's brain, and you see what works for you, because nothing's going to work the same for me to you. So you got to figure out what works best for you to get you ready.
Exactly.
And when it came to my senior year, I really was like trying to perfect my craft. Like, that's when I started getting looks. Like, I was trying to be as dominant as I could be, and I felt like I could have done a little better. If I was the pitcher I was now in college, I could have torn it up so much more. Learning what I know now, if I would have had that my senior year, I would have dominated so much better. But then again, like, I'm older, I've been in for a little bit longer, you learn new things. But yeah, it's just,
and there's a reason why you're on the path that you're on right now.
Yes.
You know, to see where you end up. And I wanted to share this with you. This was from one of your teammates at Tiffin, Ty Hatfield, who's an Ohio Bison alum. And, you know, I'm just curious how it speaks to you as a player. He had this to say about you, a former teammate of yours. He's a competitor. He goes out there with the mentality that he's going to go out every time and do what he wants to do. He always gives 100% effort, and it showed. He knew what he wanted to throw and would throw it to the best he could every time. Is that's something that, resonates with you, hearing that, even though, as you just said, when you were where you're at now, you wish you could be back there in college, but you still were very successful in college.
And yeah, I'm a different person when I'm going from off the field to on the field. When it comes to game time, you got to flip a switch. There is no like, yeah, we got to be there's no lackadaisical. Like you're on that mound, you got to own it. You got to dominate. You got to go in with passion. Like this is what you want to pursue. You got to give it everything you got. So as soon as I get on that mound, it's pretty much like, screw these guys.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna take it to them. Like I don't care who you are. I'm the best pitcher out here right now. I don't care who's in that batter's box. I'm going to dominate you. And you just got to go in the mentality like you're going to win every battle. You're going to go in it with 100% effort and just give it all you got. And I mean, that's all I can do is try to give it everything I've got. And I feel like when I was in college and in high school, I left my heart on the field. And I mean, the last time I threw for Tiffin, I mean, I tried giving it everything I had. I mean,
yeah,
I had a great last game with Tiffin, not knowing it was my last game. And I just tried putting us the best spot we could be. And there's sometimes I wish I could have done a little more in college, and I know I left my heart out there, but there's always that, man, I really wish I could have done just that little bit more to push us that little bit further.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to give everything I give or everything I got.
And you got the whole experience at Tiffin. You logged so many innings, you played, your heart out for them. And, so how does it feel? You did all that work, you played for all those years, and you're one of very few to actually make it to an MLB organization. So how does that feel that, it's not like you were at a Tennessee, a Florida, UNLV, Ohio State. Like you were at Tiffin, like, and you made it to an MLB organization.
Honestly, to me, it's such an honor because I don't know if you know, like my dad played, and my dad played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but my dad went to Tiffin. Me and my dad are the only two baseball guys to ever go pro out of Lakota ever. There's only 3 people in Lakota history to ever go pro.
Wow.
And me and my dad are the only two. My dad played at Tiffin, and like my dad he's in the Hall of Fame there. Broke all the records there, and breaking his records and leaving he leaving a legacy and me living up to that, and then me breaking his records honestly was like the biggest honor for me. And to honestly like try to help put Tiffin on the map and have Tiffin want to be better and have people to strive for that. It's just such an honor to be where I am, and hopefully I make it. And I know it's a path, but being at Tiffin, it is a grind. Coming from D2, I mean, you don't got all the stuff that D1s get. Like you're such a small school, and just you really have to work to get where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just like, oh, we can take the day off. No, it's you got to go in even on your off days. I mean, my class was really good, and like the guys we had always wanted to put the work in. So I was very fortunate to have the friends I did because there was days like you're like, man, I just want to sit here and play video games. I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, it's just you just don't want to do anything.
I mean, it's repetitive. I mean, you don't want to be at the baseball field all the time. But if it wasn't from the friends I had that were like, come on, Wehrle, let's go throw, and I was like, all right, let's go. And I'd get up, and next thing you know, we'd go on off days, still throw, get our work in. And even on the days I didn't want to do anything when I was at practice, like, because, you're not going to be able to have 100% every time.
Yeah, and you have good days, you have bad days.
Having the friends that you have, who you surround yourself with, determine who you want to be. I truly believe in that. And my friends helped me tremendously. I mean, Logan Fisher is one of my closest friends of all time, and he helped push me a lot. Griff Stevens, I mean, there's a lot of guys out there. I mean, I can name my whole class, honestly.
That kept you accountable every day.
And they did. And
they're going to do this.
It's nice because even with the days they're down, I pick them up. Days they're like, I'm down, they're picking me up. Or I made a bad pitch, somebody rocks me. Next thing you know, home run. And you're like, man, are you kidding me? Close game. Like, I just gave up a home run. Yeah. And you have that camaraderie, like, come on, go get it. Yeah. Like, just to keep you locked in.
And help builds the character because obviously in the professionals, it's on a larger scale when you're a professional and you got to learn how to keep your cool, keep your composure, because that's the quickest way to be like, all right, man, sorry, we're releasing you. Like you can't keep it together. Yeah. And you have those friends that are able to keep you level headed in college. It's just so helpful.
Yeah. And that's it's so much different going from college to pro baseball, because college, you can mess up and like, you're still there.
It's no big deal.
Pro baseball, like your job is on the line every time you're out there. And if you do bad, man, it's on you. Like you don't got anybody to go to. So those friends that are really there for you, like in pro baseball, I have some close friends that have helped me out a lot. Like if I say Logan Henderson, he's a great guy, the Mudcat guy. He tore it up this year. Quentin Lowe, he was 100-mile-an-hour for Carolina Mudcats. Like the Latino guys, like I got really close to them. I call them all family to me.
Yeah.
And to be able to have those guys to pick you up, especially when you throw bad and you're like, man, I don't got anybody to go to. Like my family is states away. Like what do I do? Like, and you're down on yourself. your friends really pick you up. And so having that friendship in pro baseball goes such a long way, because when you're so scared, like your job's on the line, or when you throw bad and you're like, man, I'm down. And for me, being a confident person, there was a couple times I was there like that. I was like, man, I'm down bad.
Yeah.
And your friends pick you up. Like, you have to have friends in the organization, because it is on you, and your friends really pick you up. So it's a blessing to have friends and be able to work and just keep staying confident, keep staying hard, and just work from that. It's awesome.
And that bullpen life is just something extraordinary. I mean, I remember last season following the Erie Seawolves and their playoff run with Magno and Wolf, and that bullpen, it just looked like a whole different world out there. And when you're able to make those friendships, I mean, the bullpen is not the bullpen anymore.
No.
It's a lot more fun.
It is. So like when you have friends in the bullpen, we called ours the fishbowl because we were the Mudcats. So
all right,
Chase Costello was a guy in there, another good guy. He's a dominant pitcher, and he named it the fishbowl, or the group of guys did. And when I got out there, like, welcome to the fishbowl, and it's just you're having fun you're having fun. It's different than the dugout, man. You're just down there with your boys, like a bunch of pitchers. You're like, what are we doing today?
Yeah, we're just waiting for the phone to ring. Like, hey, what are we doing?
Yeah, you're getting hot, and next thing you know, you could be chilling, just big time relax, and next thing you know, get hot, and you're like, all right, shotgun energy drink, let's go.
Yeah. And then so with your time in Carolina, you were able to have a full season with them. You pitched in long outings and short outings. So what are you looking forward to in 2024 to expand on? Do you want to continue that role of doing the longer outings, or do you want to do the shorter outings? To what would you like out of 2024?
So like I was saying, like everything's a learning curve, and I learned a lot from being my first year in. Like saying how the pitcher I wanted to be now, to the pitcher I want to be in, like I am now, to the pitcher I want to be in college.
Yeah.
Going from your first full year in, you learn so much. Like, it's not just going out there like you're trying to work on stuff. No, you're fine tuning your craft. Yet you're still trying to throw harder and do this and be better, but like you're fine tuning your craft. So like, oh, you want that pitch there? Yeah, I got that. Like, oh, you want this like this? I got that. And going from now, I still want to be a starter, which I think the Brewers still view me as a starter. Even if not, I'm fine with being a closer, whatever. Like I'm okay with being any role per se, because that's still me being on the field. And any way I can do, whatever I can do to be on that field and to help the team win, I will do that 100%.
And two, you've seen, I mean, you look at pitchers today or even infielders. I mean, I think one of them is Nick Blandino of the Reds. He's supposed to be coming back as a knuckleballer. He is an infielder. So like at any given point, no matter if you're, a reliever could become a starter and a starter become a reliever at any point.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you're a reliever now does not mean you can be a starter in the future.
I mean, the one person I look at in the Brewers organization, I mean, Corbin Burns is a outlier. He started as a starter and he made it. Like he is one of the Cy Young winner, dominant pitcher. Like he's great. Mm-hmm. But one guy I look at that was never a starter was Freddie Peralta. Like, yeah, they tried him out, but Freddie Peralta is a starter now for the Brewers, and he's a very dominant pitcher. But he was a closer, mid-inning guy all the way up, and that's your fastest route up is through the relief innings.
Yeah.
And he got up, next thing you know, they transitioned to a starter, and he's a beast now. And so that's why I'm okay with being any role. Whatever role they need to be, or for me to get up to the pro level and work, I will do whatever they need.
Yeah, because you just want to continue to build every year. You want to keep getting better and better and keep making up into those leagues. And, the Carolina League is no joke. I mean, there's some really talented teams, really talented players. And, I mean, that's where a bulk of, when you start in the low A and high A and you make your way up. So, I mean, it's not like you're in not a competitive league. I mean, every night, I mean, those guys are ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, literally they are. And what's crazy is some of the guys I played against in the CPL, which is where I played summer baseball my senior year. And some of those guys I'm playing against. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Or seeing guys like Enrique Bradfield Jr. I played against him when he first overall draft pick out of Vanderbilt. Got picked up by Baltimore. Threw against him. I'm like, this is pretty cool. Like, he's one of the top guys. And being able to, like, I was about to play against Jackson Holiday. Then he got called up. And Jackson Holiday's a beast. Like, he went up so fast.
Yeah, I mean, that kid was up for, with each team for like 2 weeks. And he's like, up.
Well, he just kept dominating. And the kid's going to be a pro. He's going to be a pro guy here soon. Like, he's just so good. I mean, coming from his dad. But
it's kind of helps a little bit.
But playing against some of the guys I played against were actually really cool. I mean, like I said, you get rocked. Some guys get theirs. Sometimes you get yours. But you got to be able to take it with a grain of salt and just keep going. So it's just cool. It's a learning curve, like I said. So it's awesome.
No, I get that. And but thank you so much for your time today, Tyler. We really appreciate it. It was great getting to know about your career and we look forward to following you in the 2024 season with the Carolina Mudcats and see your success and hopefully see you move up. And we wish you nothing but the best. But thank you so much for being on today's episode.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it. Anytime.
Also, have a great day, man.
Thank you.